Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. If you're new here, my name's Emily and today I'm going to be doing some more of the prompts from Ethony's 31 Days of Tarot. So the next prompt is the top 5 tarot decks of 2020, ones you purchased and or released in 2020. I did do the hashtag top 5 tarot decks of 2020 already, ones that were released in 2020, so I'm going to do the same again but with ones that were released in different times as well. So thinking about decks that weren't released this year, I need to work out the top 5. Okay, so firstly number 5 will probably be my Centennial Rider-Waite-Smith. I only picked this up this year, so it is fairly new to me. The first deck I learnt with was the original Rider-Waite-Smith in the blue and yellow box, so the colour tone of that one is quite yellowy, and this is one that I picked up this year because I do really love the colours in this one, and it's really nice to have because it's such a popular one and I do really enjoy using this. So I would say that this is probably a top 5 for the year. Not necessarily released this year though, but I do work with this quite frequently, and I tend to use the Rider-Waite-Smith as a go-to when I'm doing readings for other people as well, so this is a definite favourite for me. Next up is probably the Herb Crafters Tarot. I picked this up this year. I'm not sure actually when this was released. I do work a lot with herbs in my practice, although there are some herbs in here that I don't really know if I even have access to really. I'm in Devon in the UK, so I think a lot of these are more like US based, I believe. Most of these I can pretty much work with, and I really enjoy learning about the correspondences of the herbs as they relate to the tarot. But when I do use this, I do like to kind of refer to other tarot decks, like mostly like the Rider-Waite-Smith images. But I think it's a really beautiful deck to work with, especially for those kind of following like a witchcraft path or like a pagan path, something along those lines, or anyone who's interested in like kitchen witchery or herbology or herbalism, anything like that. Anyone who's interested in those kinds of practices would be interested in this, and it's just beautiful illustrations and it kind of switches around the system a little bit, but I really enjoy this deck a lot. And whilst I don't use it as such for like everyday readings, I tend to use it more like an oracle and like pull a card to go with a reading. I would like to work with it more this year, so I have this out quite often, ready to work with. Next up is probably the 78 Tarot Elemental, and I actually won this from Lisa at Supportive Tarot, and I just think this is such a beautiful deck. I really would like to get my hands on the other ones as well, but I believe that they're out of print now at the moment. I think they're bringing out a new tarot deck and you can probably get the other ones in like a package or something, but this is, yeah, such a beautiful deck. I love how all of the cards have a different illustrator. I think that's the way that they do the 78, that's why that's the concept. But yeah, I just think they're such beautiful decks, and I really would love to get the mythical. And I just think this has always been spot on when I've used it in readings for myself. It's quite large, that's my only sort of thing about it, but I do think it's a beautiful deck to work with, and it's definitely been a favourite of mine this year. So next up is the Falakos Tarot, and I picked this up this year and it has been on my wish list for quite a long time, and I just love working with this deck intuitively and then applying my understanding of the RWS system with these cards as well. But I would like to study deeper into this deck and understand more about it. That's kind of on my wish list plans for the year. I just think it's a stunning deck. There's so many beautiful aspects to it, and I just can't wait to delve into it more. But it is a beautiful deck. It's just stunning. It's really lovely to work with it in more of a intuitive way, which I love. It's beautiful. So that would be number 2. The Bonestone and Earthflesh is definitely a favourite of mine, but because it was released this year and these other ones weren't released this year, I am not going to include this here because I did include it in pretty much every other favourite video, but it is definitely a favourite, so I will just sort of mention it. But my favourite deck that I picked up this year is the Afro Goddess Tarot Arcanas, the first edition, which I picked up this year from Andrea Furtick herself, and this is just such a beautiful deck. I've talked at length about this deck and raved about it, and it is just one of my favourites. It will always be one of my favourites. It is such a stunning, beautiful deck to work with. The images are stunning. This is just, I just love this deck so much. Really beautiful deck. This is the Afro Goddess Arcanas by Andrea Furtick, and it's number 1. So those are my top 5 favourite tarot decks that I picked up this year that weren't released this year, and it's really, really nice to actually share those as well because these are such beautiful decks and I'm so happy that I have them in my collection. And I have an ever-growing list of decks that I want to pick up, but it's so nice to know that I have these beautiful decks already, and that, you know, this year I'm planning to go deep with some of them, and you know, I might not be able to do that with all of them, but I'm starting to work more with the Phylacus today, and it's only the 2nd today, so I think I'm already doing quite well with my plans. I'm already, you know, doing what I said I wanted to do, so I'm very pleased about that. And I'm going to be talking about my top 5 favourite Oracle decks of 2020. I'm going to do decks that I picked up this year, not necessarily that were released this year. So I have chosen 5 decks that weren't released this year, but I also want to make a mention of my absolute favourite Oracle deck of the year, and that is the Tree Whisper Oracle by Mags at the Woodland Hag. This has just been my favourite deck, and it's been the deck that I've used most consistently over the year since I picked it up. These are all photographs that were manipulated by Mags. They were taken by Mags, and she edited and designed the deck so that you could basically see the spirits of the trees coming through, and it's just such a stunning deck, and I love working with this year, so I did have to mention this. So this is kind of like an honourable mention. So number 5 is probably the Sacred Earth Oracle. This one I picked up this year. I don't know when this was released. This is by Tony Carmine Salerno and Leela J. Williams. I really like Tony Carmine Salerno's art, but I'm not entirely sure whether this is actually her art in this because it looks very different. But I believe she creates these decks as well, so I'm not entirely sure. I think she does the art in some of them and not all. I'm not entirely sure. But the art in this deck is just stunning, and I do think it's really beautiful to work with when you've got an earth-based practice. So you can see the backs are really earthy, and it's just got these wonderful keywords that help to sort of prompt, but they don't kind of limit your understanding, I don't think. Some people don't like keywords, but I do enjoy them. So this has been a lovely deck to work with certain decks. It's just beautiful art, and a lovely deck all round to work with Oracle wise. Number 4 is going to be this Sacred Rebels Oracle, and this is Alana Fairchild, artwork by Autumn Sky Morrison. I was really drawn to the artwork in this deck for a long time, and I do have a couple of the other Alana Fairchild oracles, like the Isis Oracle and the Kuan Yin Oracle, which I think are stunning decks that I really enjoy working with. I was interested in picking up the Kali deck until I learned a bit more about it, and I saw Queen Orsett talking about it, and I'm just not so thrilled about the idea of picking up that deck now. But this, I have to just turn the light down a bit so you can see, because the light is kind of like, it's very bright. This is just a beautiful deck. The illustrations are stunning, and these prompts really do serve to assist with messages that you get from the tarot, and they're just really beautiful messages to help you with your self-development and your journaling practice and shadow work, and it's a really beautiful kind of introspective sort of deck. So I have loved working with this. Not as much as like the Tree Whisperer Oracle, for instance, but this has been beautiful, and it's kind of rose petally, so it works really well. I've enjoyed working with this one a lot. Next up is the Mother Mary Oracle, again Alana Fairchild, and this one I picked up this year as well. This says Protection, Miracles and Grace of the Holy Mother. Artwork by Shiloh Sophia McLeod. The artwork just drew me in really, and I think I saw that some other people had been working with it, and I was kind of working a little bit with Mother Mary. I come from a Christian background, but it's more of a Church of England rather than Catholicism, but I'm very interested in working with Mother Mary and have done a little bit here and there, and so this was a beautiful deck to get to deepen that connection really, and I just think the art is stunning. So it has some really beautiful artwork and imagery, and the guidebook is really lovely to go with it as well. Next up, a deck that I have loved working with is the Moon deck, and this is written by Ariana Lee and illustrated by Andrea Ke. I worked with this a lot during different moon phases, pulled from it and worked intuitively with it, as well as with the message. They're just really beautiful messages. I shed habits that hinder my truth. I release and renew. Really great cards to work with for the moon, the full moon, the new moon, the dark moon, and beautiful illustrations of course as well. So I absolutely loved this deck this year. and it is a favourite of mine. I did have to ship this from the States and it took a little bit longer than I wanted for it to arrive, but I'm really, really glad that I've got it now. I think they sold it at Free People in the UK for a while, but I just got mine from the States because they stopped selling it when I wanted to get it. But that's definitely been a favourite of mine. So that was number 2. And number 1 is the Yoni Oracle cards, and I featured this in my favourite tarot and oracle video, and I've used this quite a lot in the latter half of the year. These are by Georgina Caitling, and they've got these beautiful womb images, and I was working on sort of womb healing, exploring that side of the witch archetype, and these are just really, really beautiful for when you're menstruating and moon time, the yoni of the 13 moons. So it's a lot about the divine feminine and yeah, womb healing, yoni healing, that kind of thing. So it's been really, really good to work with this to kind of heal trauma and such. But yeah, really, really beautiful. Lots of stunning, stunning imagery here. I love it so much. It's just such a powerful, powerful deck to work with. The illustrations are just beautiful. Spectacular. That is the Yoni Oracle cards, and those are my favourite oracle decks of 2020. So I hope that you've enjoyed the video. If you are making prompts in response to this hashtag, then please do let me know, because I'd love to go and see more of them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed it. If you did, please click the like button and click to subscribe if you'd like to see more from me. These first few prompts have been quite long, but when they're ever just little questions, I might just try and like put a few of them together. So thank you again so much for watching. I hope that you are well and safe and looking after yourselves, and I look forward to seeing you in another video really soon. Bye. Mwah.